Hi friends, it's Gwen. Welcome back to my channel. Today I'm here to share my fall TBR with you. So I already shared my September TBR. I had 5 or 6 books on that TBR, and I said that I wanted to share a larger, more collective TBR for the fall season. I love reading books in fall because I feel like there's a lot of things that I gravitate towards, like dark academia, maybe some fantasy, maybe some historical fiction, lots of thrillers and mysteries and just like scary things and kind of like some romances too. So I have a little bit of everything. I have this huge stack here and a smaller stack down here, but let's go ahead and jump into the books that I'm hoping to mood read throughout the fall season. Also, these are in no particular order. So I'm just going to talk to you about a bunch of books that I had on my TBR that I want to read. Okay, first up, 𒒐𝒏𝒏𝒂𝒔 by Olivia Dade. Jules and I are going to be buddy reading this in October, hopefully. I don't know too much about it, but I have read and enjoyed other books by this author, and I went to an author signing either like last year or the year before where she was talking about this book, so I'm so happy to finally have a copy in my hands. Teaming up with your neighbor during a zombie outbreak is a no-brainer, but if it turns out he's a vampire, the stakes couldn't be higher in this infectious new paranormal romance. Next up is one of my most highly anticipated books of the year. This book will Bury Me by Ashley Winstead. I can't believe I haven't read this yet, but I recently purchased it. I've heard great things from my friend Jordan from Sorry Book Solid. Okay, this one says, after the unexpected death of her father, college student Jane Sharp longs for a distraction from her grief. She becomes obsessed with the morbid world of true crime, befriending armchair detectives who teach her how to hunt killers from afar. In this dark internet underground, Jane finds friendship, purpose, and even glory. Next up is an author I've also read everything from, and that is Samantha Downing's new book, Too Old for This. This is about an elderly, like retired serial killer that has like tucked herself away, kind of like, you know, gone off grid, and then an investigative journalist comes into town asking her questions. So she may have to resort to her old ways. One of my newest Aardvark Book Club picks, The Once and Future Me by Melissa Pace. When I was reading the synopsis of this one and sharing it with you guys when I do those live shows at the end of the month, beginning of the month, it just sounded really good. It's going to be like a sci-fi dark matter meets Girl Interrupted in this gripping psychological thriller about a young woman teetering on the edge of reality. And it says Virginia 1954, so a little bit historical fiction too. I have a couple of book of the month books. Forget Me Not by Stacey Birmingham. I've been reading all of her books that they've been published. This one, it says 22 years ago, Clara Campbell's older sister Natalie disappeared. Shortly after her 18th birthday, days later, her blood was found in a car. A man was arrested and the case was swiftly closed. In the decade since, Claire has attempted to forget her traumatic past by moving to the city, and now she ends up going home to South Carolina, and she stumbles across an old diary written by one of the vineyard's owners. Some secrets from the past are going to come into play, and maybe the guy they put behind bars for her sister's death wasn't actually responsible. I also have a true crime book, The Man No One Believed, The Untold Story of the Georgia Church Murders. The Man No One Believed tells the unbelievable story of one of the most confounding cases in Georgia history, the extraordinary fight to free an innocent man, and how state officials worked against the odds to deliver justice for the Swans. Interesting. All right, I recently picked up a copy of Two Twisted Crowns by Rachel Gillig. I got this at McKay's when I went away with my husband for the weekend to Manassas. Ooh, see, I'm having the most difficult time getting this sticker off. But this is the second book in the duology. The first one is One Dark Window. And while I didn't love that one, I've heard people say that they enjoyed this one better. But I think it's kind of split between readers. Some people liked the first book better. Some people liked the second book better. But since it's a duology, I'm going to go ahead and read it and form my own opinion. It's a fantasy book. Darkness, this monster that lives inside her, and she's also, there's like dark magic and there's these Providence cards, and they're on the hunt for this like one particular card. So I'm looking forward to it. It's kind of chunky, so hoping to find the audiobook for this one as well. The Last Bookshop in London by Madeline Merton. I've heard good things about this. I've been wanting to read this, and like I said, I do have a couple historical fictions on my list for this fall. Another historical fiction is The Letter Tree by Rachel Fordham. This is a book I've been trying to read for a couple of years now, so maybe now is the time. Like I said, I do like to reach for some dark academia in the fall, and I do have this beautiful edition of Ninth House by Leigh Bardugo. I attempted to read it before I started writing down like all the different houses and stuff like that, so I still do have all of that information right here in the book, but I definitely need the audiobook for this, and I hope I love it. I don't know if I'll continue in the series or not. I guess it just depends how I feel about this, but this was super popular a few years back and I never got around to it, but I have it and I'm either going to do it or unhaul it. It needs to happen. Also, Poppy Fields by Nikki Erlich. The Poppy Fields. This is like a sci-fi book. What if there were a cure for the brokenhearted and they go to the poppy fields? Yeah, I really loved her debut, so I'm hoping I love this one too. I also have Dungeon Crawler Carl. I was super excited about this, but then like more and more people started reading it and more people's thoughts were out there, and then that kind of started influencing how I felt about the book. And you guys know I like to form my own opinion, so I just figured I'm gonna go ahead and bite the bullet and give it a go, and we'll see what happens. Next up is Hydra. I don't know why necessarily like I want to read this book. It's basically like there's this true crime podcast. The first book is 6 stories, different case that the podcaster is investigating: a family massacre, a deluded murderess, 5 witnesses, 6 stories. Which one is true? So it's an episode of 6 stories. So each book is like a different, you know, case, and I'm looking forward to this one. I liked the concept of the first book, but I was like, I don't know. I just didn't like it that much, but I liked the concept. So this one actually sounds like a more intriguing case to me. So yeah, I'm looking forward to reading this and seeing if I do want to continue in the series or if I'm just going to call it quits. I have Jules's favorite cozy mystery, Class Reunions or Murder. She has raved about this series and I have it, so I need to read it. She said it's really funny and also very nostalgic because it's set in the 80s. So I'm looking forward to it. I haven't read a cozy mystery in a while, so I think fall time might be a good time for that. When I was visiting Jules, I picked up a copy of Their Vicious Games at Half Price Books, and I did start reading it, but I wasn't initially like loving it because it didn't get to the game aspect, but I think it was going to, so I'm just going to restart this one and try to get into it and see what I think. I really want to read the X-Files. It's been sitting around on my TBR since my birthday. A strange exes must stick close together to save their best friend's wedding after a string of disasters in this swoony and steamy second chance romance. It's set on a vineyard. That sounds fallish to me, so it's going on the TBR. A few more romances. Nora Goes Off Script by Annabelle Madigan. This is the only book that I haven't read by her, and this is also her debut, and I'm really hoping I love this one. And then Ashley Poston's new book that I have not read yet, Sounds Like Love. So there's a lot of anticipated releases on this TBR, so maybe I could do like a vlog of reading some of my most anticipated books from my fall TBR. Okay, we have a lot of thrillers. The Butcher by Jennifer Hillier. I just really want to read this book. I haven't read a book by Jennifer Hillier in a while. What is she doing right now? Like, is she not writing? That would be sad because she does write some really good thrillers, but I've heard this is one of her best, so I definitely want to read it. Shutter Island by Dennis Lehane. I haven't read a Dennis Lehane since I read Since We Fell, and I've heard this is one of his good ones, so I want to give it a go. All right, I also have Strange Sally Diamond, which I got for my birthday last year and still have not read. Kills Well with Others, which I picked up at an author event earlier this year. Bright Young Women, which I also got for my birthday last year. Stopping in the middle of all that to say I want to start the the Pumpkin Spice Cafe series and the Cinnamon Bun Bookstore. These are the ones that I owned, so I want to read these to see if I do want to continue on in the series. And then I also have Party of Liars, which was an aardvark pick. It's a locked room kind of mystery, and then There Were None situation. When the Wolf Comes Home by Nat Cassidy. This is definitely outside my comfort zone, but I want to give it a go. I'm doing a creature feature readathon in my Patreon in October, and this would be perfect for that. And then 2 more books. Sorry, the stacks are getting in my way. So 2 more books. I have You Don't Belong Here or You Belong Here by Megan Miranda. Memories fade, but on this campus, legacies are never forgotten or forgiven. So yeah, it's another like kind of dark academia. I'll put it in that category. And then finally, I want to read Wild Dark Shore. This was a book of the month pick from March, and my patron Megan actually sent me her copy. And I know this is like a more slow literary, but I've heard the payoff is really worth it. So I definitely want to add it onto the list. So those are the books that I am hoping to mood read throughout the fall months. Here is the stack of the things that I would love to accomplish. I don't know if I will get to all of them, but I hope I get to a lot of them. Let me know which ones you think I should prioritize, ones that you've rated high, ones that you think I would rate high. But that's all for today's video. Thank you guys so much for watching. If you made it this far into the video, leave the leaves emoji, like the falling leaves, down in the comment section down below. But don't forget to let me know which ones do you think I should prioritize. But yeah, I'll see you again in another video very soon. Bye friends.